Hello. So I don't want to be rude, but I will just start the game right away, and let's go. Yeah, so you will see why very soon. Yeah, so hi, I'm Cadarev. I somehow run Tomb Raider games. Some decisions you can't reverse later on. Yeah, but I'm luckily not by myself today. I'm joined by two amazing people. Who wants to go first?
I'm
Classic.
going first, I guess. I'm a dude guy. I play the 2013 Tomb Raider. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm Limi. I play all three of the reboots, even though I haven't run them in a while, but I still know the run. It's fine.
Yeah, so for this run, the main thing you have to know is that somehow, the more recent the games become, the fewer cutscenes you can skip.
Yeah.
And unluckily, this is the most recent one, so you pretty much can't skip any cutscenes.
Yeah. So welcome to Tomb Raider, the movie.
Yes. So for attempts, we actually, or well, I say we. I wasn't really part of the decision making, but there are quite a few options to make running this game a bit more. I don't want to say enjoyable, but more easy to get through. One of them would be that we allow runners to basically skip the first 12.5 minutes real time and start from a save file. Because as you will see, the first 12.5 minutes aren't exactly action-packed, or yeah, there aren't too many decisions that would influence the time of your run.
I mean, this is pretty action-packed from what I can see.
It's true. Oh yeah, sorry. That's why it's crashing. Yeah.
Are you holding W already?
Soon. Yeah, and another thing is we actually have a community-developed cutscene skipper that allows us to skip almost all of the cutscenes. So if you think this is something like if you really enjoy the run, but you're put off by the cutscenes, don't worry. You don't have to go through this every time you run the game. But yeah, in general, this is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's the most recent Tomb Raider game. Came out
2016, I believe.
16? I don't know. It's the most recent one. And it concludes the reboot trilogy. So that's yeah, Tomb Raider 2013, followed by Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's kind of its own little universe. So since they rebooted the franchise, it doesn't really have a connection to the other games. However, there is this, I don't want to say cursed, but this announcement of a Netflix anime or animated series where they want to merge the timelines somehow together, and I'm very, very much afraid of that. But yeah, until that's, oh, sorry, gameplay.
Oh, we've started.
Yes, first input. Except for the one where you actually press confirm.
Correct, yeah.
And the difficulty select, which is of course very important.
Yes, and now I have to hold W for a while. Yeah, so I think the main overarching theme of the reboots is that Lara is like kind of trying to follow her father's footsteps. They were trying to redeem him because he kind of was excommunicated by or like banished by the scientific community because nobody believed his discoveries or theories, and also something about her mother, I don't know. Luckily, in this case, we actually get to see quite a bit of the stories, so, but there are also some crucial parts we're gonna hopefully skip. So this is a tiny bit more involved. Actually, this already shows us some of the more recent additions to the series, like the gear upgrading system. So, for example, here I will soon do some overhang climbing, which requires special equipment. And interestingly, we will have it here, but we will then skip it in the main part of the run. So
that's the reason why you don't have it later. You lose everything in the plane crash.
True, and then we don't get it back in this run.
Yeah, for some reason Lara never bothers to check all the stuff that fell out of the plane. She just goes, I don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah, but she retrieves her bow, but the rest is, I guess, optional. Yeah. So right now we're obviously in the tutorial, so we're somewhere in Mexico. I think it should be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good,
This is
good.
in
Thank you for the
Mexico.
confirmation. Okay.
I'm on my way in.
Yeah, and soon we will see our companion Jonah. He makes an appearance in every
I remember him.
Tomb Raider game, exactly. Well, reboot Tomb Raider game. And also after that stressful sequence of events, finally some cutscenes. Yeah, so Jonah makes an appearance in every Tomb Raider game. He's a semi-important member of the cast, I guess. But interestingly also, he looks completely different in each installment, so let's see what he looks like this time.
Look, he's just very good at makeup, okay?
True. Oh. Is that on stream? That is on stream, actually. I'm sorry about that. How do I disable this the fastest?
That's fine. I'm sure not too many people will
True,
start playing games.
it's so early, yeah.
Now we know what Trinity's after.
Let me get my laptop real quick.
Am I locked into Steam?
Yeah, so as you can see, Lara is a bit injured. That's not going to be the last time that's the case. And yeah, as you may also have seen, there is some kind of device attached to this pedestal that may or may not be activated soon. And then things may or may not pick up in action. Yeah, but how did we get here? So in Tomb Raider 2013, if my memory serves me well, which was like obviously the start of this saga. Also, oops. Lara went with her with a crew of friends, I guess, or yeah, small research expedition to the Dragon Triangle near Japan and got shipwrecked. And yeah, was on an island with some like storm and deity that she had to escape from. Then in Rise, I have absolutely no clue because I never finished it casually. But it's something in Siberia. Do you know?
Yeah, she's looking for the divine source, which is an artifact that's said to bestow in immortality. I know how that word works.
Right, and then she destroys it at the end. That's the part that I picked up again. Yeah. And yeah, now we're in Mexico, so actually like the settings of the three games are quite different, which is pretty nice. This is definitely the most, I want to say, like colorful one, which makes sense because we're in like the Mexican jungle most of the time. While in the first game it was yeah, some remote Japanese island full of storm and snow, and I guess Siberia is also pretty full of storm and snow. But yeah, we made it into the city of Cozumel, and we can walk around a bit.
Yeah, we actually get to control Lara for like more than 2 seconds now.
Yes, intense control. Sadly, she's not willing to accelerate too much.
Yeah, she also doesn't want to jump or do anything else at all, so all we can do at the moment is just walk around. But at least we have some amount of control, which is more than can be said for the past 5 minutes.
True, we can also steer the camera, it's pretty great.
So we still haven't arrived at the point where runs would normally start?
That's correct, yes. So this would also be skipped if you were to do... Oh, don't cut me off. Ah, thank you. Insane micro-optimizations. Yeah, so we're shadowing... No, we're trailing, I guess. The gentleman up ahead at the gate. That's Sir Pedro Dominguez, I think. Dominguez?
I don't know his first name, but
I
yeah,
know
Dominguez is correct.
Okay, well, then we piece it together because I know his first name. Yeah, so he's the leader of the Trinity, which is the main antagonistic organization, I guess, throughout these reboot games. And he's also some kind of heir or like next in line in the royal family or whatever of this a remote culture or civilization here.
Man, spoilers, we haven't gotten there yet.
I have to fill the time somehow.
I mean, fair.
Because yeah, as you can see, like maybe you can see in the lower right corner, there's this spinning circle symbol. So in the 2 previous games, at some point this would turn into a skip prompt, but not so lucky in this one.
Still loading.
True.
There's a few like 10-second long cutscenes you can actually skip in this game, but none of the long ones.
Yes. But finally we're back in control.
Jonah, I'm in.
Good. Those guards weren't at the gate earlier. Dominguez must suspect something.
But yeah, we're getting a bit closer to like having full control. Like actually, as soon as you have like full control and where the run would usually start or the attempt, it picks up somewhat quickly. Like the next part will be pretty, yeah, we'll definitely have more action in this. And we'll actually already see one of the bigger glitches that we will use, actually the main one. So maybe we can talk about that already. So in this game, the two main things, well, I guess technically three, but the two main glitches to look out for are the airwalk and the skywalk. So an airwalk obviously lets you walk in air, but it requires using the grappling hook, or grappling axe, I think they call it. It's an item that was introduced in Rise of the Tomb Raider, but there it was only introduced at the very end. So there is like one application in the any % speedrun of Rise of the Tomb Raider. Interestingly, in this game we get it way earlier. So pretty much for the entirety of the run, we will use airwalks. The way that works is you stand next to a ledge that you can throw your grappling axe towards, and if you time it correctly, so that I think you pretty much have to hit the ground with Lara and the grappling axe has to hit the ledge at the same time, roughly, you will maybe obtain a state in where you can airwalk. So there is a visual indicator for this. If Lara has the grappling axe in her right hand afterwards, you may have gotten an airwalk. And there's pretty much just one way to find out.
Yeah, so it is a frame-perfect trick, which is why we actually running this game at 60 FPS, because otherwise this would be even harder to do and even more annoying. But we're not sure whether, if Lara has the axe in her hand, whether that means you actually hit the correct frame and just got unlucky and the game was like, no, you're not getting an airwalk, or whether that means you're one frame off.
Yes. So the way we find out is pretty much to just walk off the next ledge, and if Lara airwalks, then we got it, and if she doesn't, then tough luck. We have to try again.
Yeah, luckily if you don't have an airwalk, she'll actually turn around and grab the ledge instead of just falling off.
Yes.
There's also some places where the camera will actually turn by itself if you have an airwalk. So sometimes you will see Caddy using that instead of just walking off the edge.
Yeah, so there's actually, first of all, finally full control. This feels amazing. Yeah, so, but there is actually an option to turn off the camera moving by itself, but we actually kind of want that for a skip later on, because there would be no good way to determine otherwise whether we got an airwalk or not. But yeah, more on that later. Yeah. What to talk about next? So we are obviously going through a few tutorial prompts here, so one thing that, like, there's way more of a focus on in this game is like stealth kills and stuff like this, so that's the first thing you learn.
Here the game wants us to take out this goon, but that's slow because if we take him out, it triggers a cutscene, so we just shoot next to him so he gets scared off.
Yes.
And then we don't save the archaeologist he was trying to shoot. Instead we go behind this tree and attempt to just phase through this wall.
Please.
It's gonna happen soon. Luckily the tree shields us from most of the bullets, so we don't have to be too worried. Well, if you take too long, he might still he might still manage to kill you. Huh?
No.
He's getting there.
Yes, I'm getting
there we
out.
All right, we're through the wall now.
Smooth.
Now we are out of bounds, as you might have guessed. There are some kill triggers here and a few invisible collisions, so we have to be somewhat careful, but Caddy knows where to go, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. But now there's like a big drop coming up. We're trying to hit a checkpoint down below. We didn't hit it, I think.
Watch that again. Yeah, I think I went too far left. Anyways. Yeah, so the idea is that we hit the checkpoint before dying there, but the checkpoint was not hit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of the rough part about this run, or also mostly Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, you have these long out-of-bounds segments, and if you mess up towards the end, there is no checkpoint in between. So you get to do it all over again. So maybe this works better this time.
And all of the reboot games going into like first person with the weapon is very glitchy and can get you out of bounds a lot.
Yeah, we believe that when you start aiming, Lara's hitbox changes in size. So if you go into a small gap or just close to a wall and then you start aiming, your hitbox starts clipping into the wall. We're not sure that's actually what's happening, but it's like the most sensible explanation. We'll see if we get it now. That looks good.
Got
No.
it. Why?
No luck.
Ah, well.
Let's just try again.
Yes. I at least skipped the animation of her having to hold the pipe, so I saved 2 seconds on the third try.
One time I actually managed to kill this first guy too fast, and then the game soft locked on me
Yes.
because it was like, hey, do you know how to melee kill? Yeah, I just did that. And the game says, but do you know how to melee kill? You should press that button to
really?
melee kill that nearest enemy. I'm like, there's no nearby enemy. What do you mean, game?
At least the clips get better and better. So
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
would be nice to also get the skip, but otherwise I'll just load the next save.
Go too far.
Sorry? Oh,
That looks better.
yes.
Yes, okay.
Let's go.
So here, just out of habit, I reload the game. Sometimes it wouldn't like load the next area for me correctly on this next trick.
Yeah, for some reason, even though the game literally just reloaded because we died, we have to reload again, otherwise the next room may not load in. And I mean, that's still kind of important, despite what we are currently doing. Yeah, this
makes
is
sense.
yeah, this is a different tech. This is more prevalent in the previous reboot game, Rise. That's an up clip where you just mash yourself into a wall and then the camera goes up. And if you do the right thing, Lara will follow the camera. And if you don't, then the camera will be stuck somewhere other than Lara's. Luckily, Caddy knows what to do. So now we're just
Sure I do.
going out of bounds here, using the hitbox of the water to circumvent most of the underwater section here.
Yes, and then we're actually already approaching the first airwalk.
Skywalk, no?
No, actually that has been replaced.
Oh, you're actually doing it. Oh,
Yeah.
I tried this airwalk and I couldn't get it to work. That's
Oh,
why I thought
well,
you still do a
maybe there's
skywalk.
you tried the alternative way, but well, let's see.
I'm in an underground temple.
So this might take a while because, yeah, as we said, even if you get the animation of the grappling axe, sometimes it doesn't work. So this is the grappling axe, but then as you can see,
I can
she
tell it's
grabbed the
all
ledge, but
premise.
this is an airwalk,
There's a
yes.
pyramid.
So now we want to scale this pyramid to the top.
Oh, you go over there, okay.
Yes. And then actually what's also pretty helpful in this game is by swapping weapons, you get boosted upwards during airwalks like this. I mean, also without the airwalk, but obviously you can't maintain the height that you gain from it. And we want to get over there, but I want to get a bit more height. I mean, you can jump out of it, but I'd rather not lose more time. Please, Lara.
Oh, this looks
Ah,
good.
there we go. Yeah, that's plenty of height. Okay. And then we will do a very similar thing to what we did at the start of this segment with the upclip, but this wall is pretty janky because you're actually supposed to break it. But we don't want to break it. I mean, we want to break it, but in a different way. Yeah. So this involves like an also shoulder swap and changing directions on the keyboard. But, please, Lara. Didn't mean to show off how janky the wall was that much. Don't think that really helped.
Is it also frame rate dependent in these games or this game?
I assume so.
I'm not sure whether the wall clips are... Actually, yeah, in Rise, there's a lot more variance with frame rate and wall clips, because in the console versions, you have 30 FPS, which makes most clips harder, but some clips actually get easier at lower frame rates. It's really weird. Okay, that looks good.
There we go.
Yeah.
So this bypass is a pretty annoying... Like, I mean, it doesn't bypass it because we're running through it right now, but this avoids having enemies here that would slow us down quite considerably, and we also, like, cut out a short walk where we had to go through a like swampy area that slows us down a bit.
Yeah, there's a stealth tutorial there that we skipped. And now because we did this, we can also just run through this area. Usually when you get here, the enemies alert and you have to fight them. But right now, as you can see, they are pretty blind. So we just pass right by them.
And then there's this gate in the way, but not for too long, because we can again abuse. Oops, yeah, right. We can abuse the first-person aiming mode basically to go through thin, well, somewhat thin gates like this.
Shoutouts to the knife that we never picked up.
The knife that brings about Armageddon, but I guess we just happen to have it in our possession. Yeah, so this, like, the knife that she just dropped, yeah, as I just said, will cause a sequence of pretty bad events, and this is the first one. So we have this huge tsunami going on that we're trying to escape from, but it's mostly just like swimming and a bit of a diving tutorial. So there's not like too much to explain, but I think my good friend Cadarev wants to tell us something.
I surely can, yeah. We got 2 donations here lining up. First one, $50. I might butcher this name, so Kvelish254 saying, Caddy and Lemmy, 2 of the people that have wasted so much of their time helping me learn these games. Best of luck on the run and keep killing it. We also got $10 from Sinidro saying, Kada running and Zone on commentary? What is this cuteness overload? ESA hype. Which, by the way, I'm not on commentary. I'm reading donations here. But on topic of that, I feel like everybody who's visible on the screen right there is a cutie.
Thanks. I feel very cute now.
You too.
And just got another one in here. While I was reading this, we got a whopping $128.
I would clap, but I can't.
From Alpha Centauri, without a comment, but thank you very much for that donation. That is highly appreciated. And remember, everybody, when you do donate, please put your donation towards some of the very cool incentives we have. I could talk about that later on. Back to you, my good friend, Caddy.
Thank you very much. And don't worry, Quellish. If I already have to waste time on these games, I'm at least bringing some people down with me.
Exactly. We can't be the only ones who have to suffer this indignity.
Yeah, so we're approaching the end of this like escape sequence here. Just a bit more of jumping and climbing. And then we will finally reach a well-deserved cutscene break.
Finally, I was starting to get worried that we might not get the full story here.
Clearly, the previous one almost put me asleep with how long this part took, but let's hope that's not the case for the next one.
I wonder if those donations were enough to save the children in this level.
I wonder what your...
I think people didn't donate enough.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. Let's peek around the corner. What's up there? Someone is crying out for help.
Save them.
I'm trying to.
You didn't go fast enough. What are you doing?
She told him to not let go while he was falling. That's all she could do.
He didn't let go. The whole thing fell with him. Just so heartless. Just go faster. This is supposed to be speedrunning.
Well, I did a pretty poor job at this so far, so no need to change. But yeah, now you might be able to recognize parts of this cutscene, because this is basically now where the flashback ends, and we are going back to where the game started, like a bit earlier than that.
So yeah, we already watched half of this cutscene when the run started, but the game's like, maybe you forgot. Here, watch it again.
And as you might be able to tell, Lara and Jonah are not on the best of terms right now. But they patch things up rather quickly.
Yeah. Jonah's a bit mad because she took the knife. Even though we didn't actually take the knife, so he's honestly like, he's just blaming us for something we didn't do.
We just got framed somehow.
Yeah.
Probably one of the goons had it.
Probably Jonah.
Yeah, he's a bit mad that like we kind of accidentally killed a few hundred people, I guess, but
it happens.
It's not the first for Lara. usually, especially in the reboot games, wherever Lara is, things don't tend to have the best stability or integrity, like structural integrity.
We'll concentrate on the cloudy mountain.
And yeah, throughout this game, Lara like always picks up these very, or learns of these very intricate riddles that she tries to follow, and then pretty much in the next scene she already finds and solves them. So we'll probably have the same thing happening here.
The best way we can help them is to
But yeah, I think by now they've solved their differences and will work together for a long time from now on. Nothing that could break this couple apart.
Could never be mad for too long at
Exactly.
my little bird.
Yes. Do you want to explain that?
No.
Good.
No context whatsoever.
Look, I'm sure she's about to take the wheel in this relationship.
True. And the wheel of this airplane.
Yes, that's what I was alluding to. Thank you. Even though it's not called a wheel. but-
Yeah. Close enough.
I might have something over here.
Really?
Jonah might have something over there, and we might also have something up ahead.
That's it.
Yeah, so Lara has this like riddle of a silver-crowned mountain, and she sees the next best mountain and determines, yes, that's the one we need.
I guess a little turbulence wouldn't stop
Her
turning.
spidey sense was tingling. What do you want? What do you want?
And now she's asking for the weather situation, and the pilot accurately assesses how it is.
Yeah, I can put you down near Koak Jaco.
Let's go.
Soon at least. Clearly very stable conditions.
Yes, totally weather you should fly in. The pilot definitely did his job checking the weather report beforehand.
It might get a bit bumpy, I mean... what's the oh, right, yes.
Oops. Oh, there goes the pilot.
I mean, he was not wrong.
We didn't need him, I'm sure.
Yes.
Plane can fly itself. Got
And-
autopilot, I'm sure.
And Lara is a trained pilot, so I'm sure she will gently put down this airplane in
Yeah,
a safe area.
just pull up.
Yes.
Oh,
Pull
oops.
up the half of the plane you're still on. Forget about the other half.
I think we just lost the wings.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all we lost, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't need those. They were just slowing us down. It's extra drag. We're more streamlined now.
So yeah, that was actually one of the cutscenes we can skip. Like Lara crash landed here and was kind of suspended or caught up in one of the trees. But luckily, those few seconds we were able to skip. But yeah, since we crash landed, we are now without our gear and without skills of the previous games and everything. So we have to learn and craft everything over again. Yeah, throughout the game you will see some pop-ups like you saw on the right there. So one of the things they introduced, especially so in Rise, not so much in 2013, but there were some hints of it already there, is like a whole separate like crafting and looting system. That's pretty cool in casual play, but especially in the any % speedruns, we're gonna ignore most of it. We finish pretty much all of the games with as minimal of an equipment as possible.
Yeah, for most of the crafting recipes, you have to learn them first, and learning them takes time, and sometimes experience points, neither of which we have.
True. Yeah, so right now the main objective for us is to reunite with the rest of the plane crew, which definitely all of the members of that crew are doing very well right now.
Oh, well, right now they are.
True. All of the visible crew members are doing well. And yeah, and then obviously obtain at least some gear to proceed with our adventure. But yeah, so we will now arrive at like kind of a small pond with where the airplane or parts of the airplane crashed. And yeah, our objective is to craft a knife so we can cut out these wires that are holding up the supply crate.
My gear is in
I
that.
hope they're not wires, otherwise that's one hell of a knife.
There. And luckily, as we all know, inside propellers, when you like destroy them, there are knife-shaped splinters of it. So we'll be using that to craft a perfectly working survival knife. But yeah, for that we also need some salvage, and I will be collecting that just to craft it. In the meantime, Zonaris, if you want to say something, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much. We got another $20 here by Elliot Fraser, saying, "So glad to see Caddy running his favorite visual novel again. I can't wait to see how Lara rises after regaining her weapons, hope, and allies. I'll double my donation if my username is pronounced correctly." Not sure if I did that, but here we go. Thank you very much for that donation. I got some more time, or?
Sure, yes.
I just quickly want to let you all know that after this game, we got GTA 5 coming up. It's a pretty long game, but you, my friends out there in the chat, can decide the ending of that game. There's 3 choices. Kill Trevor, kill Michael, or the third way. And it's a pretty heated battle between Kill Trevor and the third way, which are only apart by $10. You have still quite a while to get that decided, but, you know, just as a safety measure, letting you all know about it. So, back to you, Caddy.
Thank you very much. So I was at the campfire there, so campfires are your hubs where you can both craft new equipment and also gain or level up and learn skills. First of all, here we will pick up the bow again, and that's pretty much all we can retrieve from the crashed wreck.
Yeah, also at the campfire, Caddy picked up a new skill which allows us to roll after a jump, and from now on you'll mostly be seeing him do that because it's the fastest form of movement. For some reason sprinting is not as fast as just doing this.
We don't have to pay for that one in this game.
No, why would you ask that?
Well, in 2013, the roll is like a DLC you can buy early.
Yeah,
very interesting.
So in 2013, that's actually like, I think it requires like 7 skill points or so to get to that skill. It's like very deep down the skill tree. Or you can spend like $1 or $3, I don't remember, and buy the
like
DLC
50 cents
or something. Yeah, by now probably even less. Yeah. Yeah, you can spend money to have it like from the start of the game. So
pay to win speedruns.
Yeah. But I guess after the first game they figured out that rolling might be somewhat desired and helpful in a platforming game. So from like in both Rise and Shadow, like you can get the same skill with like your very first skill point, and that's the only one we will get in this game. And now we have like kind of this arena, and there's some angry kittens in here that we need to take care of. So you can shoot at them before they attack you, but the hits won't really register or do anything. So I always wait for them to attack and scramble out of the way. And then there's a way to rapid fire in this game. Well, in most of these games. By letting go of the aim button, you cancel the animation of Lara reloading, basically. And you can instantly shoot again.
Yeah, usually you have to wait for Lara to reach into her quiver, pull out a new arrow, but if you just let go of aim and instantly hold it again, she already has a new arrow in her hand. Don't know where she takes it from, but...
And now we just wait for the other one to... Yeah, there we go, lunge at me. And that's the end of this fight. And it will lead straight into another kind of tutorial. So you may have seen me pick up some resources throughout the downtime in that fight. One of which was healing herbs. So 3 of those allow you to heal up. And there, like movement is fully restricted until you do that. So instead of doing it after the fight, we already assemble all of what we need during the fight.
Yeah, because during the fight we have to wait until the Jaguars actually get to us and attack us once before we can scare them off. So there's no real way to speed it up except for just shoot them as fast as we can after they attack.
Jonah, are you there?
Yes, Jonah happens to be here, but it was nice meeting him again. Bye, Jonah.
Yeah, Jonah wants us to check out some ancient ruins he found up ahead. But ancient ruins, we've seen a ton of those.
Yeah, what does he think we are, Tomb Raider? Or?
Yeah, I prefer enjoying the scenery myself. You mind giving us a tour, Caddy?
I I'm trying to, but I'm not the only involved party here.
Ah, well. Whenever Lara feels like it.
There we go.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, looks pretty nice.
So now, just for context, we're currently, the area we got here from is on the left, and the area we're supposed to be in is on the right. We're kind of walking in between them to hit some load triggers along the way. If we don't take the right path, stuff won't load in properly, which is kind of a problem.
And this actually skips one of the more memorable parts of this game, probably, which is the flashback segment, where you play as child Lara and climb around Croft Manor. But yeah, you may see the lighting getting a bit funky here, and also soon again. That's pretty much the part where we skipped that. So none of that in this run.
Yeah, currently the part where you get the flashback is directly to the right of us. You'll also see the sun just kind of decide that it's had enough of us in a second, and it just zooms across the sky.
Nice time lapse.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because usually, as you're progressing through the right side, time is supposed to pass slowly, but when you reach that trigger, the game is like, oh damn, a bunch of time is supposed to have passed. Better move the sun somewhere else. And for some reason, it doesn't do that from one moment to the other. It just actually moves it, so you get those funky moving shadows.
Yeah, and also, like, there was supposed to be a part there where you, like, try to ambush some grunts with Jonah together, but we kind of skipped a few triggers there, so the collision of the truck you were supposed to hide underneath was there, which is why maybe I looked like I took like a detour, but I just tried to avoid bumping into it. But yeah, nothing else loaded, so we can just go straight to the first bigger hub area of this game, this Guakyaku. So in this game there are also like merchants you can buy stuff from and sell stuff to. And you can accept mini quests in these kind of, or side quests in these areas, but we're not really too interested in that.
Yeah, this lady is trying to point us to the shop, but we don't care.
Yeah. We do want to maybe check out some runes though, but right now they're not really accessible. So there is the part that would allow us to go into the runes is currently blocked off, and we will have to go on a small detour, but we will make sure the detour is is done pretty quickly.
Yeah, so right here we're taking a detour, one, because we want to avoid going into the shop, because that comes with a bunch of slow movement. And also we don't want to go into the front entrance of the temple that we're about to reach, because then we'd have to go into a whole side area. Instead we're just going to go over here and clip out of bounds right here, in order to get to the very end of the side area and hit a specific checkpoint. And that convinces the game that we've actually done the whole side area and that we're good to go.
Yes,
No.
so one thing with out of bounds in this game, because of its settings, there's usually quite a bit of foliage around, so can be quite difficult to see where to go, especially if you have to jump. Can you please load? Thank you. If you have to jump like over the void, and you're desperately trying not to fall into, it can be
sometimes
quite difficult.
Yeah, sometimes there's also just holes underneath these bushes. So, like, just because you can see bushes doesn't mean there's actually collision underneath that you can walk on. Can be quite tricky.
Yeah, but that went pretty well, I would say. So now we're kind of approaching the end part of this small detour we should have gone to, but we're approaching from the other side now. So after triggering the next trigger, we will reload checkpoint, and then we can go the way back that we just came, which technically we should only be able to go on now, but we kind of took liberties with the routing here. Also, you saw me there jump through that swamp. That's not really supposed to be possible, but after reloading checkpoint, there's a small period of time where you can do that, and luckily that's just enough time to clear that upper platform there before the walkie-talkie really starts, like Lara talking to Jonah. And usually during those, you can get restricted movement, and we don't really want that.
That's kind of a running theme in the reboots. Whenever Lara's on her walkie-talkie, she refuses to move fast. She just... In 2013, she actually just hunkers down and walks really slowly. In Rise, she sometimes does that, but usually whenever you get a call, you can't move as fast as you want to, so we usually try to avoid walkie-talkie calls whenever possible.
Yeah, in 2013, it's actually quite a good application, or we're making good use of the walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can you can create airwalks with it, because I guess the game doesn't expect you to get anywhere near falling down. So you get a skill. What's it called again? Like dirty
Tricks.
dirty tricks, and then you do that going into the walkie-talkie, and then you can just float for a bit for the duration of the walkie-talkie.
Exactly. Yeah, as I said, the grappling hook was only introduced in Rise, so you don't have this version of the airwalk in 2013, but instead we rely on walkie-talkies, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, for now we're diving again and making our way through this very not dangerous-looking part of the level. Definitely wouldn't recommend trying this, but
This looks safe.
yeah,
I don't know what you mean.
You can see other people made the same experience.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
checked it
exact
and they
same.
determined it's safe.
That's why they stayed here. Yes.
Yeah, they thought it was so safe they wanted to stay here. I don't know what you mean.
I mean, to be fair, you're also you're a Subnautica runner, so you are very well versed in this area.
Yes, underwater is fine.
Exactly.
All you need to do is just eat a bunch of fish and your oxygen replenishes.
So yeah, talking of oxygen, so there are these oxygen bubbles you can usually use to refill your air. Like right here, I also got the prompt. But we never use any of those in the run because we usually just abuse checkpoint reloading. And obviously after reloading a checkpoint, you just start with full air, which is pretty handy.
How does that even work, getting air from bubbles underwater?
It's fine, don't worry about it. Also right there, Caddy was taking a specific path through the underwater section in order to avoid some of the murrays that are patrolling the area and would slow us down if we encountered them.
And here I will try to skip a small, or I don't want to jump. A small, you would have to go down this path and jump around a bit, but instead we can try to take a shortcut by using the grappling hook from this side and yeah, latching onto the final ledge here, which saves a few seconds. And now we're just making our way to the Trial of the Eagle, which would be a rather complex platforming puzzle, following that whole structure there.
Jonah, I'm at the next trial.
But maybe also not. So air walking exists, luckily, hopefully, and we will hopefully bypass that. And while I'm trying to get that going, Daenerys, if you want to.
Yeah, I would very much like to, because we have a few donations here lined up. First of all, we got $10 by Volper1029, saying something that at least a certain person in the crowd there will enjoy, saying, "Where the bunnies at, Kada?"
At home, safe.
$9.98 of that donation go towards the GTA incentive. Not sure what happened to the last 2 cents, but maybe they'll show up. Who knows? We also got $10 by Fresh Riggy saying, "Go, Caddy! The Swiss community stands, or sits, behind you." Nice hair, by the way.
Thank you. You too.
And we got another $10 by Ollie.jpg saying, "Hey, Caddy, good luck with your amazing Shadow of the Cutscene Simulator run. Good luck. Have fun."
I'm trying my best. Yeah, thank you very much.
Also, just quickly want to mention, we are only $135 away from reaching 57K. If we could reach that before the end of this run, that would be super duper mega cute. Speaking of cuteness, back to you, Caddy.
Yeah, I agree. My commentators are very cute. So you can see this area is interesting. So, but luckily there's a checkpoint right there that we can use to reload, and now everything is loaded in.
Get the body back. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so right there we airwalked into a small puddle that comes right after the climbing section that we just skipped. And luckily right next to the puddle there is a checkpoint that we can hit and then reload in order to properly load in this area. But we're not done with airwalks yet.
Far from it.
Yeah.
Unlucky. So there is a small cutscene here you can skip. I'll try once. I'm not the best at it. But you can... So there's a cutscene trigger to my right, and you can jump around it like this.
Oh, actually got it.
Good thing.
So here Caddy went for kind of a fake out. We have to swing on that Kipu once in order to convince the camera that it shouldn't mess us up.
Yes, you can actually try to go for this airwalk with the camera still furiously trying to point you towards that thing, but it's really not worth it in most cases.
Yeah, it's not a good time. I would not recommend.
Just like trying to get an airwalk here.
Yeah, also not a good time.
We practiced this like half an hour ago.
Yes, I practiced my RNG. Oh my god.
Look, it's easy. Just hit the button on the right frame.
Yeah. Need some more coaching, it seems. Thank you.
Hey.
That was it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Here we need to make sure we avoid that platform to the right. Otherwise, the camera will... Actually, I'm not sure whether the camera gets stuck, but we get stuck.
Yeah, something bad happened. But yeah, now actually this is also quite the big skip. Skips, like this part doesn't skip too much story-wise, but we're basically making our way into the next hub area, which
And
is already kind of late-ish game, middle to late game.
It's a middle game.
Yeah.
It's not actually that late into the game. It's
I mean,
like,
we come back here later on again. Like this is like the second big hub area.
yeah.
Well, not this, but...
But yeah, the big thing about this skip is not that it skips the area we're currently walking over. That area is actually pretty straight line, so it wouldn't take that long. But at the end of that area, there is like a 5-minute long cutscene, and that is what we're going to skip.
Hopefully.
Well, it's looking good so far. I have trust in you.
There's also a swamp area underneath, which obviously would take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, for some reason, even if you're airwalking above the swamp, as soon as the game detects swamp anywhere below you, it would immediately snap you down to the swamp, and then you're walking at like a snail's pace.
But now we actually get the only application of the other big glitch in this game, which is the skywalk. If any one of you want to explain?
Yeah, so skywalks are kind of weird. They were first found in the 2013. As you can see there, Caddy just walked onto a slope where you would usually slide off, and then he tapped backwards, and for some reason that confuses the game into not really making you slide off anymore, and then you can kind of press to the side and away from the wall in order to slide along it. It's kind of like surfing in some Source games, if you know how that works. It doesn't control exactly the same, but it's the closest thing I could relate it to.
Yeah, it's very unique, and it's kind of its own mini game. And in 2013 you can do it in a lot of places, and it's really fun.
Yeah, 2013 is kind of the game to go for if you enjoy skywalking and want to do it more. Here we only do it once, and in Rise it gets used a few more times, but not that much either.
Yeah, especially in this game, they're all like you move rather slowly, while in 2013 you can obtain really ludicrous height speeds, or yeah.
Yeah, it has steeper mountains.
Yeah.
Why that? Also here you can see we actually wanted to go to the left, but Caddy went to the right. That's because if we go to the left, there's a trigger there that makes us walk real slow. So it's actually slower to go the direct route. Also, this is actually a pretty difficult skip, and Caddy just got up there first try. Well, I just had to open my mouth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have started talking after you were done with it.
Yeah, so this bypass is I don't even know how long. Feels like 10 minutes, but it's probably like 2 minutes walking simulator where you just hold W, which is actually quite funny to look at because Lara is supposed to be disguised right now, and clearly she isn't. But yeah, you're supposed to follow a pretty important character in this game through a crowd of like supporters of Dominguez that who we saw earlier. But now you just don't see any of that.
Yeah. Also, the area here is supposed to be like brimming with a bunch of people, but because we just kind of broke in here, the game forgot to load other people in.
Now we just have to hit a small gap here, which I'm terrible at usually. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
I'm always good at this.
Never struggled with it.
Yes. So now we basically got to the end of the level. We went through the other way of through this crack, and now since we hit this trigger, Lara will exit the area. And this, like, now we can actually see how much of the story we pretty much skipped, because so Lara will be approached by another pretty important character. So that's the son of the queen we were supposed to follow. And Lara is obviously distraught, and she will now tell the son that his mother fought valiantly, which clearly she saw a lot of, especially the mother. She didn't see once, but she just makes all of this up on the spot. But yeah, so at this point, like it's really, in the story, you're getting desperate because pretty much like Trinity always seems to be one step ahead. So yeah, that's Edsley, that's him. And now Lara will bring some bad news. But I hope Zoneris will bring some way better news.
Yeah, I surely can bring other good news. I leave you guys to be the judge of how good this is. Starting off with one of our mutual friends here, we got $5 by 7Saki7 saying, I hope that Laura will be able to play Mahjong after this run. Please don't forget to say, stand up Vanguard before starting your next run next time. Before starting your run next time. You're the best Tomb Raider player and the official Prince of Persia commentator. Also shoutouts to the cute voice reading this message. Oh, thank you. We also got $10 by the one and the only Zed sitting in the crowd there, saying, I am so happy that it is confirmed for next ESA that Cada will have 1 full day of Stream 2 for himself, running all the Tomb Raiders back to back. Did I say Stream 2?
Congratulations.
Stream 1. Stream 2 will include Okami Top Dog.
Yes, that was what I was waiting for, but thank you for the twist.
And we also got a very, very special donation here. We got $20 by Frozer, one of our fellow Swiss men, speaking in our native language.
Oh God.
And he's saying, Sali Cadarev, im Namen von der Schweizer Speedrun Community wünschen wir dir viel Glück beim Speedrun Smiley Face. So for all of you 99% who didn't understand anything, I'll quickly translate. It says, Hi Caddy, in the name of the Swiss Speedrun community, we wish you the best of luck on your Speedrun Smiley Face.
Merci vielmals. That meant, yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I feel like people would have been able to tell.
Yeah, I think they were also probably able to tell that Frozer said Swiss speedrunning community.
Probably. Yeah, back to you.
Thank you very much. Also for the donations. Always great to hear. People, well, I'm not sure if you're enjoying this, but...
Clearly some people are.
Yes. We're also very much enjoying this cutscene. So yeah, Lara again in desperation mode. So now we're kind of, I guess, infiltrating an enemy base or something. So after this cutscene, there will be a short stealth segment, which we will definitely bypass very stealthily, as we always do.
We're masters of stealth.
Yes. And then we actually get to a pretty cool, but also not very easy skip that actually involves both of the big glitches we mentioned earlier. So you start out with an airwalk and then transition into a skywalk, and which I think is a pretty neat showcase.
I think that's the only place in the reboots where we either do airwalk into skywalk or the other way around.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
But for now, we have some more cutscene to wait out. Actually, no, that one is skippable.
This one, obviously, this one you can skip.
Yes,
Why
not?
Yeah.
Sure. We need to actually go left here to be somewhat stealthy. Just go by that guard. He's clearly very good at his job.
Yes.
Just not getting paid enough.
Whoa. Throw an F-bomb in there.
Not sure what you're talking about. So you can see the indicators pointing at enemies that are aware of you, but they're not like, they haven't spotted you yet. So as long as so first the indicator fills up with white color. As soon as that's full, they'll like really know that something's going on, and then it fills up with red color, and as soon as the red color is all filled up, you've been spotted. But let's hope that's not the case for now.
Yeah, if it feels full white, they'll investigate, and if it's red, they'll alert. Huh?
Do you get any coins
First
to deal
try?
with the stealth?
What is this?
Sorry.
Cheating?
Well, clearly I'm not good enough at it. So yeah, interestingly, we will now first airwalk up this slope all the way here, and then we will jump out of it and transition hopefully into skywalk. But we're still far from done because now the tricky part pretty much starts. Because there is a nasty kill plane here somewhere. Oh no, I don't want to use the grappling hook. But I had to. Okay, good. So yeah, that's skip if I could get past tree branch. That's the most difficult part. And now we will try to stealth some more.
Lara clearly very good at not getting spotted.
Hey, no smoking.
It's bad for your lungs.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Had to stop him. Like, clearly this is the better way. So yeah, this guard also very good. And now they have like heat sensing goggles, which also work perfectly, it seems. I might be late on this one.
Also, these guards in normal clothing have like random clothing.
I think this bottom.
Also, shout out to
Which we'll
Stealth
see now,
Explosion.
I guess.
Yes. So interestingly, like every time you you encounter some of these people, they always have like different shirts. And
You actually got spotted there? I didn't
Yeah.
see a red arrow.
I saw two. But
I only
maybe-
saw white.
Let's try again. Yeah, that looks better. Just a small distraction. Still very stealthily. So yeah, if you get spotted, you actually can't climb that ledge. You will, like, they will always shoot you, even though they're not really behind you. You will just see a straight bullet hitting you, which is a pretty common feature in the reboots. Rise is especially guilty of that, where you just like, can't proceed because there is always some ghost sniper around.
Yeah, the developers really didn't want you skipping any of their glorious combat sections. Luckily, they didn't do a good job.
Yeah, so here we obtain a skill that we will not use, but we can't avoid it. So thank you for the fear arrows, which are actually pretty cool, but yeah, require crafting materials that we don't have, and we don't really need them. Instead, we just run out of bounds there by like rolling into that corner, and that's enough to bypass the collision. This is also pretty tricky, because as I mentioned at the start, for these out-of-bounds segments, you obviously don't get a checkpoint. So the tricky part here is that I will have to jump across a gap that is pretty, like the timing is pretty tight, and I don't even see Lara. The perfect combination of events. Okay, got it.
Ooh, first try. Very nice.
Luckily, this is not over yet.
So here, usually we're supposed to be on the right, and then there's a bunch of scripted movement where a bunch of enemies are shooting at Lara, and she's scrambling around the rafters of this oil rig, I think, trying not to get shot at as it's slowly collapsing, as always does when Lara is nearby. Instead, we're just taking the long scenic route and avoiding all of that.
Yes, so also we didn't mention this so far, but we're actually playing on normal combat difficulty. Please, yes, can I see?
Don't fall off, please.
I'm trying to, but I don't see. But yeah, we're playing on normal combat difficulty. Do you want to explain that while I try to make my way to the...
Yeah, so apparently on easy combat difficulty you just don't gain as much XP.
Yeah, and there's also brutal auto-aim, which in some fights, well, there aren't too many fights, but it actually is really annoying because it doesn't auto-aim at their heads, obviously, which we usually want to. It just aims at random spots, but it's like, to get rid of it, you have to really yank your mouse pretty much across the entire table.
Yeah. Also here, you might have seen before Caddy went into this fight, he blew up 2 explosive barrels that were kind of just sitting there, sorry.
I didn't hear anything. I'm focusing. What? They were what?
They were
No.
sitting
Yes.
there.
Just like I'm sitting right now.
Exactly,
and
like that, yes. And that's in order to skip a cycle on this boss that we never actually see, but you're going to see it in the cutscene now. So this helicopter is supposed to come in and supposed to attack you, and those barrels would usually be under it and hit, and the explosion would hit it. But you can actually hit those barrels before the fight starts.
Sometimes because of how we do this fight, there's also some intense music cutting in the middle of this cutscene, so maybe we get that. But yeah, again, Lara destroyed everything, which she now comes to realize. So she basically has an epiphany. Also, yeah, now the music starts.
Shoutouts to Kraken.
Yeah, pretty good. But yeah, now she will become really, really mad with how things are going. But also interestingly, like we had to go through all this, and then Jonah just shows up.
What happened here?
Who did this?
Did you do something bad?
No, I swear it wasn't me. But yeah, this is another cutscene that we obviously can't skip, which will lead into a cutscene that we can skip after like a minute, because that makes sense. But yeah, Daenerys, anything you want to say in the meantime?
Yes, certainly. We got $50 here from Soka Genso, saying, "Hello ESA and hello Caddy. I'm feeling obligated to donate since you made such a sacrifice playing this truly awful game again. Pausers. Good luck and have fun." And those $50 go towards the GTA 5 choice of the ending, the third way. And the third way is pulling ahead by quite a bit by now. So if anybody would rather like to see the Kill Trevor or the Kill Michael ending, you better get some money in for that. And also, if you look at the Omnibar where all the donations are, the second one from the left, from $20, Fraser Elliott, it was suggested to me that maybe the correct pronunciation was Elliot Fraser instead of Fraser. So maybe, who knows?
It's not mine.
Yeah, back to you.
Thank you very much. Also, Soka, very interesting choice to call this a game and not a movie, but I'll excuse it. But yeah, I think if you total it up over the course of a run, you have like, I think the discrepancy between like times we remove with like cutscenes and loads, it's like half an hour plus that you just would sit here. Well, we are sitting here. I'm not sure why I'm saying would. So roughly it's like 40% or something.
It's not quite Dishonored levels or
True,
something,
yeah.
but
If you want to see more of that, we actually have Dishonored coming up, I think, later. Yeah, later tonight.
By the way, one thing real quick I forgot to mention. We're only $50 away from reaching the $57,000 that we raised. So we got like, what, 20-ish minutes left? I super believe that we can do that.
Yeah, I hope it's 20 minutes.
Not less than that?
At most 20 minutes, sorry. Yeah, so Lara now figured out where to go. Now we're making our way to the mission of San Juan.
Yep.
Well, I guess not quite into the mission of San Juan, as you will see. Because, I mean, our companions will go in there, but we want to investigate the surroundings, I guess.
look, Lara just likes scenery. I'm sure they can figure out how to find the silver box by themselves. They've got all the clues. They know what they're looking for. It's just a silver box. How hard can it be?
It's also great how, like, Abby, one of her companions, is talking about how she has a friend who's an archaeologist and we might be able to get some hints from her, and Lara's already 50 meters down the street and says, yeah, please go ahead.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so this is a pretty tricky flip. But we can also get it first try, I guess. But that's not the difficult part. Apart from seeing where to go. So again, we are skipping a huge part here, like a huge chunk of puzzle solving that would like involve slow walking and stuff. Also, we want to load the area in here. And then there's a very small part of this arc to the left here that I can land on, and it's required for this skip. So I'm inching my way forward here. Okay.
Ooh.
Sure. That works. And then there's
Just first try it, okay. No big deal.
Also, doors exist sometimes.
Yeah, so usually you would get to this area after you found the silver box, and there would be a bunch of enemies here trying to stop you, but it's mostly deserted now, except for these guys.
Also some very interesting lighting here that will persist Don't worry. I need to skip.
Yeah, the sun has decided to go up to 11 today.
Yeah, now just a small fight. If I could aim, that would be nice. So the enemy spawning in after the first wave here can be pretty annoying. Let's see how they decide to act this time. So there's one spawning in here. Yeah, of course. Classic. Where is he? Oh, there. That it? Yes. So yeah, don't mind the lighting. I mean, do mind the lighting, but it's not here to stay for too long. Yeah. Also, you can already see the helicopter blades there. Interesting.
It's like night and day over here.
Oh, it's... Oh, hello, Jonah.
Oh, nice exit.
Yes, so obviously in the meantime, Jonah got the silver box, and now Dominguez has it, and goodbye.
Jonah, you should have paid better attention.
I mean, he will apologize, so it's okay. Oh, look, Abby's here as well. Good. I guess she found her archaeologist friend and asked for directions.
Oh yeah. I got it. I'm good.
But yeah, I think so. The main story thing to do is to to avoid. No, do you have the silver box and the dagger to avoid it, or to stop it, or to actually fully trigger the cataclysm? I don't remember. Something with the dagger and the silver.
I think both. You can use them to like control it, I believe.
Makes sense. Which is why both Lara and Trinity wants it. Sure. So this now leads us into another bad event that's happening because of our supposed actions that we didn't do. Still getting framed for stealing the dagger.
Yeah, somehow Lara manages to outrun like a mud wave here. I have no clue how that's supposed to work, but sure.
That's... Oh, sure. I didn't even know that cancels into a grab. Okay.
Also, there's just a bunch of people here getting hit by debris. Lara is just getting ultra lucky. Also, shoutouts to the people on that house.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, they're gone.
They teleported out.
Yeah, they found the way out.
But I think there's like, yeah, only one checkpoint in this entire sequence, which I already hit, so I really hope that I don't mess up the final part here, which is actually the most, like, the one that's most prone to, like, just here, for example, this grappling hook sometimes doesn't work, but if you wait for a bit, it usually latches onto it.
Yeah, the
but
crumbling ground here is just
yeah.
the worst.
But we made it. Clearly, we'll just fall in here and then there will be enough debris to carry us to Jonah somehow, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this is pretty much starting the final sequence of cutscenes that will now definitely lead us into the end game. Because clearly now we have to go inside a volcano pretty much and stop whatever is happening. But before that we have some cutscenes, which means we also have some time for Xoneris.
Ah, yes. Good. So, we got a bunch of here. So, I guess starting out with the most important one, we got $50 from Space Phoenix, just saying 57K hype! Thank you so much for that one. And we also got $10 from Cine Bro, saying, wait, did I actually write commentary? Of course, I meant hosting. However, you guys are still cute and will be forever. Huh, that is so wholesome. Then we got another one of our mutual friends here. We got $5 by Hutch, saying, hi, Caddy. Just thought I'd give the usual periodic I love you message. Also, where's Blade Hat?
Yeah, that's a reference to Tomb Raider 5, which sadly... I mean, also, interestingly, that's the one where you can't skip cutscenes in, and there are a bunch of, so I guess this is the spiritual successor, but not quite. But thank you very much. Love you too.
we also got, that just came in while I was reading, we got $25.01 by another mutual friend, Robe XD, saying, a real lack of bunnies on screen, but at least we have these cuties instead. Good luck, Caddy.
We have at least one bunny behind us. So.
True.
That's true, yeah.
It's almost like people watch my streams mainly because of my bunny cam instead of me. It's so unexpected.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been donating throughout this run so far. We're still raising money for Save the Children. 100% of all the donations go directly towards Save the Children. And even the smallest amounts of money make a big impact. For example, with just a measly $5, you can provide education supplies for a child that is fleeing from a conflict zone, giving him or her the tools that they need to continue their education, which is $5. That is pretty amazing. And thank you so much for all the donations. And yeah, Caddy, back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, so there was this was basically the point of no return. Ed's even told us we should prepare, and of course the first thing we do is just not prepare and just immediately go to him and tell him that we're fine. What I didn't actually know until when I started doing attempts of this again a few months ago is that you can actually bump into him and then he falls over and you have to wait for him to get back up until you can continue. So that's why I took it a bit more cautiously this time. But yeah, here they're planning their final assault for the final battle against Trinity, and Lara with the amazing insight and strategical genius suggesting that she basically just goes in solo, and I guess it works, so let's see.
I mean, actually, doesn't she suggest that she'll take up a sniper's nest or something like that?
Exactly.
And then she doesn't even have a sniping weapon to begin with, but even if she did, she doesn't actually do that, so...
And the game does not make you go into any kind of sniper's nest, so...
I don't know what that's about.
It's just her way of saying, yeah, I'll go in alone.
Leave it to me.
I guess it's just an excuse, probably, yeah.
Also, I think soon, Robbie, the time you've been waiting for will come up, because Jonah will say his final words. Not sure if you may recognize a line or two. But yes, he also calls her by her nickname in this game.
So cute. Totally not cringe.
The eclipse will no longer represent us. We keep the sun, but you remove the shadow.
Thank you.
I do really like her outfit here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. As I said earlier, we're also supposed to have disguise outfit during the skip that we did after the initial skywalk, but since we skipped quite a few triggers there, no such luck. But they're actually, you can craft different outfits and they give you different kinds of benefits, but yeah, as you also mentioned, no need or resources for that in this run.
Yeah, for 100% you actually need to equip different outfits, because certain people will only talk to you if you're wearing an outfit of an authority person. And there's people from different fractions, and they of course won't talk to you if you're wearing an outfit belongs to the other faction.
Yes, so this is just another longish diving segment. Again, there are you're supposed to catch your breath in these small checkpoint areas. But we'll just use the checkpoints that are triggered to checkpoint reload instead of getting the animation of Lara, catching her breath. And it just so happens to work out for the route, that we don't need anything else.
Also, just a quick aside, this water is directly adjacent to glowing lava. I have no idea how Lara is not getting boiled alive right now, but there must be
I also like these rocks because they just bounce off you like they're styrofoam or something.
It's fine.
And luckily this cutscene we can skip for reasons. And I guess now we're in the sniper nest or something, I don't know.
But you have a great outlook over the city from here.
I know where we also have an even better outlook. Or I'll try to get there. Not like this. So this is the final, hopefully, final airwalk.
Maybe this is what Lara was referring to when she said she's gonna get high up. That would explain a lot.
So these helicopters actually do have a hitbox, and there is one patrolling here in like his route goes directly through the area that we want to cross. So we want to go to this big wall on the left there, and Tuni will come, or the helicopter will come around that building to the right, which is why I'm trying to stay out of its way at this one. Like had it happened, where it's just like you don't even have to bump into it. The hitbox is pretty big. So I just want to make sure I don't do that.
Yeah, they can't actually kill you because you're never supposed to be close to them. So the devs didn't think to put like kill boxes on their rotor blades. So at least that can't happen, but they can still get in your way.
Yes, and again, as in the first airwalk I did, I will use weapon swapping to boost myself up. This makes this part pretty easy. But we're still not done with gaining height. It's just a small respite here. And now the second part of this climb will commence. So our goal is to reach the top of this pyramid you can start to make out. So at the top of that will be the final boss fight.
Yeah, also to the right you can see all the areas we're currently skipping by doing this airwalk. Usually you're supposed to be fighting for like a solid 20 minutes on your way up to the top of this pyramid.
Yeah, including a fight against a tank. So luckily, with our equipment, we probably wouldn't stand too much of a chance. But
yeah, we also wouldn't have the ammo.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have the equipment to reach the top of the platform, anyways. Like,
oh yeah, the very end of the climb actually requires the overhang climbing gear, which we never picked up.
Nope. Excuse me. Might have gone the wrong way. This, as you can tell, this is not too easy to tell where you're going. So let's get somewhere. Yeah, I'm probably have to go up here. Yeah. Or I just saying yeah to exude confidence.
Yeah, the rocks and the trees. Oh,
yes. I'm pretty sure this is not the route I usually take, but it works. Yes. Just what I want.
Also, the lighting here is a bit scuffed again.
And we really have to get to the tippy top here to get enough height.
Shocker, we may not be supposed to be here.
Yeah. There might also be some helicopters that spawn in and out, and also the trees sometimes are really wobbly. And now they fix themselves. Also, you have just a tree crown there on the right without the... Oh, there, yeah. And that was another helicopter. So yeah, now we just have to destroy these, the back of these statues, which will then trigger the final fight.
Yeah, usually when you get up here, there's like one priest for every one of these statues, kind of charging it with prayer energy. I don't know. They're doing something, and you're doing this to kind of interrupt them, but because we just came up here and didn't actually trigger the fight properly. Right now there's no one here, but as soon as we break this statue, they'll just appear out of thin air and the sky will turn black, I believe.
Oh, hi.
Oh no, the sky is still white.
No, the sky's like, it's split in half, as you can see, yeah, on the sun in the background. Also good dodge. So this fight is pretty interesting because, like, against Dominguez, we actually, like, he's not really a threat because you can interrupt him with a melee attack. Like, he's really afraid of your climbing axe for some reason. But there's also, as you may have seen, two other enemies that can interrupt you. Also, good luck because we got the explosive barrel there, so that obviously makes him take quite a bit more damage. And then we need to stab him 5 times?
Yeah, 3 times, then a reload, then 2 times.
Yeah. Also, he's glowing, and now we are starting to glow and stuff.
Yeah.
Sun god, I don't know.
Look, all that glow from the sky had to go somewhere.
Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, as you can see, as soon as we attack him, he like tries to evade it, and that's how we interrupt his attack. Because his attacks are actually pretty annoying. I have pretty big hitbox. I'm stuck on something, but I will come to that. So after this, I will reload. If we're really lucky, there will be another explosive barrel right next to him, but it's not very common. And I will have to get new ammo anyway. Let's see. Yeah. Oh well. Where is he?
Just hiding. Oh no, he started shooting through the pyramid.
Yeah, so the fifth one is actually a bit tricky because I think he starts using his attack before you can really interrupt it, so I usually just run away. Yeah. Then if you go too far away from me, he actually teleports. Which is actually pretty nice because that allows you to throw him away from the enemies, and that's time. And now they're friends again. Like yeah, somehow this works out. But yeah, this was a pretty rough beginning, but I'm happy that I was able to salvage it somehow. Yeah, so that was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Cool game if you like watching cutscenes. But yeah, if this or piqued your interest, or if you're in general interested in Tomb Raider speedruns, obviously the usual shout out, go to speedrun.com. Any of the Tomb Raider games, you will find the Discord link there to join the Tomb Runner community, or just ask any one of us. Thank you very much for having me. Anything from my commentators?
Oh, I think you said it all.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be here.
Yeah, thanks for helping me not fall asleep. I mean, what? Xoneris, I think you want to say something.
Yeah, we still have a few donations here in the pipeline for you real quick. But before that, can we get a round of applause for Caddy here for this amazing run, please? That was pretty... All right, let's quickly speed through these here. So we got $26 from Anonymous saying, for the children, and the LIDJ shirt on Cadarev. We got $25 from Soka Gensu again saying, I see the bunny, but where's its food? Cadarev Nom. We also got $25 by Lara Croft, surely,
yes,
saying, hey Caddy, really enjoying your playthrough of Tomb Raider Shadow Legends. Stay cute.
I get it, I get it.
And we also got $10 from Drogi saying, good run, Cadarev. Also, big news, please read. Oh boy. The Papst hat Spiez Speck Steck Sport bestellt. Lol, danke Sony. I'm not going to bother translating. He just wanted me to read something really, really complicated. It doesn't really mean anything useful. Anyway. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this super awesome Shadow of the Tomb Raider run. We will be quickly jumping into an intermission. And when we come back, it's time for some GTA. GTA 6 to be... GTA 5. Okay. What? Live announcement here. GTA 6. No, and next up we got GTA 5 by Hostel. So stay tuned, everybody, and we will see you just shortly.